If you haven't seen the video on data normalization, might be a good time to see that. It's in this playlist here on this channel. But today what we're going to talk about and kind of introduce is the concept and build a little more on the concept of rules and machine learning. So let's go ahead and get started. The audience for this video really is this is 100,000 mile view of this topic. We're not going to get into great detail, but if you're perhaps a quote-unquote non-technical individual just trying to get your understanding of what machine learning is, this will be a great video for you. And if you're a technical person, then this video might give you some ideas on how to explain this topic to non-technical people in the future. So stay tuned. All right, so again, we established this there on the screen, what a home is, right? And it can be known as many things in our language. Home, house, my place, apartment, etc. But we've defined that is always going to equal home in a structured data set, okay? So again, view the other video. We talked about structured, unstructured data and how we kind of arrive at these rules. Now we talk really about other rules that can be implemented, but these are usually static rules. So the difference is that a static rule says, hey, I see that term in this example, the home is located at, we moved from our apartment. So the rule says anytime you see home or apartment, any data associated with that is going to automatically, now this is unstructured data, but anything associated with that is going to be a home. That's what that sentence is talking about, is a home. Now, we may decide that we want to capture all that. We may decide that we only want to capture certain characters around that phrase, right? That key phrase that the rule is looking on. Again, home and apartment would be those key phrases. But those are rules. It's important to understand these are static rules. So somebody in the back behind the magic curtain is programming this to say every time you see apartment or home, I want you to capture 2 words in front and 2 words behind, because that's a key area we're looking at. That's really a rule. Now we talk about machine learning. So what does machine learning do? Well, machine learning can then take and say, okay, it's really an extension of your rule set, but it's saying I'm looking, I can see that there is a keyword located, for example, or moved or address in my text. What does that mean? And inside of a machine learning algorithm, it may say, well, if you see the word located, do you see any geographic definitions? For example, a street address. Well, if you see located and a street address, does that mean, and the machine can make these decisions, does that mean that they're moving, right? Does that mean that they're going to a new home? Does that mean that's their home address, right? And so we take multiple words and we kind of put them together in what we call an algorithm. And that algorithm is a combined set of rules that's making a decision for us. Now, the machine, as it sees more and more information and does more and more matches, and by the way, there is a process to eliminate what we call false positives, which means that it was wrong, right? The assessment that the machine made was wrong, and we, over the course of time, kind of keep correcting the machine to make sure that it's learning correctly and that its results are accurate. And we usually gauge that based on a percentage of accuracy, right? How correct is the machine when it's doing it? And this is a process that could take time to kind of mature that out. And then, of course, the next phase of this is really to add artificial intelligence, which really steps up to a whole nother level. Just like you and I are built on rules, there are certain things in our own language and in our reaction to circumstances, etc., that we have kind of pre-programmed in us in our own brains. We make decisions based on data that's occurring in our environment. For example, driving a car, you know, as you're driving a vehicle out in front of you, if you see a bunch of brake lights, it's probably a good time to start slowing down. You don't accelerate at that point, you slow down, right? Our minds are making those decisions based on variables that are occurring outside of us, right? Including in that car example, brake lights are coming on, but right now it's raining. And so I know hydroplaning is an issue. I got the guy behind me, or gal, the person behind me who's tailgating me. So all of those things, right, make decisions for you. They're variables in your decision. And that's where artificial intelligence, we have it naturally, well, most of us have it naturally. That's kind of where artificial intelligence goes from here. One last example of machine learning and kind of this rule set that it's kind of that next level, right? We have to have the rules established first. We have to normalize the data, meaning what is it that we're going to do with the data. Then we have to establish some sort of rules. We may have to add meta tags. We may have to add things to data sets to get them to be compliant with rule sets that we build. And then we have to set up the machine learning to be successful by narrowing down its possibilities for false positives. So we'll talk about that in other videos, but that's the general idea of kind of how you group everything together. One last example of machine learning would be Google Photos. So Google Photos has a great feature. I'm sure other products do as well. Certainly not an endorsement of Google Photos, but I certainly enjoy their product. It will take, when you have your Google Photos, it's awesome the way it finds pictures of other people, right? And it will organize it into folders specific to that person. So Johnny, if Johnny appears in pictures, it'll automatically put and group Johnny's pictures all together. So it could be a picture of Johnny with only him in the picture, or it could be Johnny with all of his buddies, and he'll find it. And the way the machine learning or the algorithm gets smarter is that it comes up and says, hey, look, we found these pictures. This kind of looks like Johnny. Please confirm for us that this is or is not Johnny. And then you click on it, and then now the machine gets more intelligent, and it starts placing our photos in a better way. So that's some examples of machine learning as we kind of prepare for that final step, which is artificial intelligence.